I've had a lot of clients and friends, family members, and myself who struggle with how to eat right when you are going out to eat. I think one of the issues with a lot of the fad diets that are going on right now is they make it really hard to actually live life. And by live life, I mean going out, getting out of your house, enjoying the new restaurant that just opened up downtown, going out with friends, going on vacation, that sort of thing. So I've come up with some practical tips for eating out. I don't really feel like any of these tips are necessarily groundbreaking. It's just been some stuff that I've learned along the way that works for me. While having discussions with people that I know, they've kind of shared some things that they do when they're going out to eat. So I will now share those tips with you, and hopefully you find at least one good thing from this video that you can apply. So the first one that I have is to ask for your food to not be cooked or seasoned with butter. A lot of the vegetables that you are served are cooked in butter. I recently went out to breakfast to one of my favorite breakfast places in the town that I live in. And upon taking a bite of my omelet, and maybe I'm hypersensitive, I don't know, I could immediately taste that it had been cooked in butter. I didn't even think to ask for them to not cook it in butter because I don't cook my omelet in butter. Also, a lot of especially breakfast and brunch places will bring you toast that's been buttered. So you can ask for dry toast, which most people know, as far at least in the serving industry, that dry toast means you don't want anything on it. You can also try to ask that your food not be cooked in oils. I've personally never done that, so I don't really know what they would say, but it never hurts to ask. So if you can just say, hey, is it possible that they not cook my food in oil, or maybe they use minimal oil? You are paying for this food. I feel like you deserve to have it cooked the way you want it to be cooked. Like they would ask you how you want your steak or your burger cooked. I feel like you should be able to ask for your food not to be cooked in tons of butter or oil. So when I ask for vegetables, I will ask that they just not be cooked with butter and that they just be steamed. Another thing that I do, and people think that I'm absolutely crazy, I've done this on several occasions when I go to eat at Texas Roadhouse. I say when they go and they reach for that delicious looking basket of rolls, I say, no, I don't need any rolls. And they look at me like I'm crazy because most people want 2 baskets of rolls. 1 roll from Texas Roadhouse, according to my MyFitnessPal, is 227 calories. There's peanuts that are already on your table. 1 ounce or 28 grams of regular old Planters peanuts have 170 calories. 14 grams of fat, 5 carbs, 7 proteins. Fats are their chemical makeup. When it enters your digestive system, they are meant to keep you full and to keep you sustained and satiated. So if you're eating a bunch of peanuts, which have fat in them, before eating your main meal that you're ordering, you are probably going to be full, if not already full, by the time your food even hits your table. That doesn't even take into account how many rolls you're eating. Any sort of free something or other that the restaurants bring you, bread, chips and salsa, peanuts, anything like that, I would just have as little of it as possible, or just not even have it on your table so you're not even tempted. Any sort of free something or other that the restaurants bring you, bread, chips and salsa, peanuts, anything like that, I would just have as little of it as possible, or just not even have it on your table so you're not even tempted. Tip number 3, create rules for yourself that you will stick to before going out. Now, what do I mean by this? Why do you have to have rules? And this is just a suggestion. This is just what's true for me. These rules that you create before you go out to eat will actually help you in making your decisions when you are choosing what you're going to have to eat when you're out to dinner. So if you can kind of narrow your focus by excluding some items from the menu, you can do that. So a couple of my rules are I avoid anything that has the word fried in it. Also avoid anything that has the word pasta in it. I am just not a big pasta fan. I really like spaghetti squash, but I don't ever, and maybe I'm just one of those lucky people, I don't ever get like a major hankering for a big old plate of like spaghetti and meatballs or pasta. Like I don't know why, I just don't. I do have a huge sweet tooth, so maybe that's my flaw. Another rule could be not having more than one glass of alcohol. So if you're having one glass of wine, no big deal, right? One glass of wine. If you have 2 glasses of wine and then a third glass of wine, probably by the third drink of whatever it is, beer, wine, margarita, you start to lose your passion for eating healthy. And I think all of us, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us can relate to the more we drink, the worse our choices get. All of a sudden you want dessert, but you're super full, but you want dessert and you get it anyway. So you can see how you can kind of go down a bad path with that. Tip number 4, only drink 1 glass or half a glass of water before actually having your meal. Water can attribute to you feeling especially bloated when you're out to eat. A lot of times things are really, really seasoned, which means they're really, really heavily salted. And just drinking a ton of water or just a ton of liquids during or right before you're about to eat, like maybe a heavier meal that you wouldn't normally eat at home, isn't really going to make you feel awesome. I really hate walking out of a restaurant feeling like bleh. Like I've definitely been in situations where halfway through my meal, I've had to unbutton the top button of my jeans. I am not ashamed to say that because I am confident that I am not the only one that has happened to. Tip number 5 is to avoid starches and opt for more like fruits and vegetables. So maybe instead of getting a baked potato or fries, you get a double helping of steamed broccoli or asparagus or Brussels sprouts. And my 6th and final tip is to ask for dressings and sauces on the side. That way you have the choice, right? You're the paying customer. I feel like you and I should have a choice as to how much of something we want to dip our whatever it is in. So those are my 6 tips. And if you have any tips or rules that you live by when you go out to eat, I would be super interested in knowing what those are. So feel free to comment those below, and I will probably take many of them into consideration. And like I said at the beginning, I really hope that you're able to pick at least one tip that you think that you can use the next time you go out to eat. So good luck and happy eating!